I want to welcome you all. I particularly want to welcome all of you who have been wondering, would this day ever come? So, how about just a round of applause for the dawning of the day? The day has finally come. I want to begin with what I know will be, unfortunately, an incomplete set of thanks, but it is important to me to include as many folks as I can. Many of you know this has been a work in progress for a while, and work in progress is what I always called my term paper when I hadn't finished it or turned it in, and I'm looking forward to the day when this is a completed project, as are we all. But back in the early days, when people said, teacher housing, educator workforce, that's a thing, and we said, well, it could be and it should be, there were some folks in those early days who were a little ahead of the curve and very supportive. And I want to give them a particular shout out and say thank you to the folks at Bay Area Forward. I'm thinking of Maya Perkins and Mila Zelka, who helped convene the hundreds of educators who came to tell their stories in a series of town halls that guided the development of this project. Our friend Sarah Chaffin, who's here from supportteacherhousing.org, who loves to tell me that she got her 4 units in Los Gatos up and rented before we broke ground. So just good for you, Sarah, and good for all of us and for the cause. And also to a couple of people in my office without whom we would not be here today because they were indispensable. So Michaela Hellman-Tincher with her adorable baby daughter, who was in the staff and has been subsequently, once she left our office, Catherine Alexander stepped right up and in, and Catherine is here somewhere in the crowd, so let me say thank you to them personally. They are among those who have borne the brunt of my nudge, nudge, nudge over these last few years, so thank you to you both for your patience and your persistence, which is the hallmark of this project. The folks from Meta, who I know are here, and we're going to hear from them in just a little bit, dropped in the early days and said, it looks to us like you could use $25 million. And we said, you read it right. It must have been an algorithm that helped them figure that out. But thank you again, and I know we're going to hear from them about their reasons for being here with us today. The county team, and thank you, our COO, Greta is here, but for the whole county team. And so I want to say thank you for that. We have a lot of people to speak, so I'm getting nervous that I am using up too much of their airtime, so I want to just cut to the chase on this and ask you to use your imaginations a little bit, because I look around and what I see is piles of dirt and a scraped site. And what I want to say is this is so much more than that. Some of us can sort of visualize the 110 units that are going to rise up here, but it is so much more than that. That 100 plus units will ultimately serve thousands of educators. Those thousands of educators will ultimately touch the lives of tens of thousands of students. And I want to ask you to imagine, as you look out over this flat patch of dirt, the kid who finally can get a minute with his teacher to tell them just how troubled they are, get some reassurance, get some comfort, get some support, and go on to be a happy, healthy, and successful young adult. I want you to imagine the kid who has a passion that is not yet fully realized and just needs a word of encouragement. And now that staff person is going to be there for that time after school to say, you're doing great work. You really ought to follow your passion. You ought to take this to the next level. And because they won't be stuck in traffic driving halfway to hell and back, that staff member will be here to have that conversation. And you know what? When every single kid takes their place in the classroom, they're going to be the beneficiary of a classroom teacher who actually had time to work on the lesson plan because they weren't commuting 4 hours a day round trip. So in ways that we can only just imagine today, it isn't about 100 units. It isn't even about 1,000 classified and certificated staff over time. It's about the tens of thousands and more who will be the beneficiaries in our community. And it's about the opportunity to be there for kids who so urgently need that time and attention.
On behalf of the of Palo Alto City Council, as well as our staff members who have helped move this along and kept us up to date, and worked with Supervisor Simitian's office, we are thrilled to celebrate the start of construction for this wonderful affordable housing project. Palo Alto is committed to furthering genuinely affordable housing in our community. And 231 Grant Road will provide much needed homes. There's a difference between houses and homes. Much needed homes for local teachers and their families. A teacher's well being also means well being for the students. Palo Alto has contributed 52 million towards affordable housing since 2017. And we know that affordable housing takes so many partners. Thank you, all of you.
Good morning, and thank you. Supervisor Simitian, you did forget one elected official, and that was yourself. And we would not be here today were it not for you, and I want to just be sure we give a huge round of thanks to you, so please. I am incredibly excited and honored to be here today to celebrate the beginning of 231 Grant. And this project actually has a really special place in my heart because I also am the child of a public high school teacher, sole earner, and I know firsthand what kind of dedication teachers and school district staff give and what sacrifices their families make as well. So this really has a special place in my heart.
All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I can't help but recognize this is a really important day as we sort of start the back to school season. I was getting my kids ready for school this week and realizing this couldn't have come at a better time. But today really does mark a significant milestone, a moment where collaboration and commitment converge to bring forth a brighter future for our community. We gather here for the groundbreaking of a new affordable housing development for teachers and certified school professionals in the heart of Santa Clara County. The project is really a testament, as many folks have spoken to, the power of partnerships. As we join hands with the County of Santa Clara, the City of Palo Alto, Mercy Housing, Abode Communities to ensure that educators not only have the support that they need, but also a place to call home. At Meta, our mission is to build community and to bring the world closer together. And our commitment to housing has helped people connect more deeply to their communities since we began this work in 2014. We recognize the immense contributions of teachers and school professionals in shaping the minds and hearts of our future generations. They ignite a spark of curiosity, instill values, and inspire a love for learning that transcends the classroom. Innovation is our secret sauce in Silicon Valley. And that spirit begins in our schools. Many of the smartest minds of our generation have been nurtured along the way by dedicated and talented teachers. Today, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to Supervisor Simitian, to the County of Santa Clara, the City of Palo Alto, Mercy Housing, Abode Communities for their dedication to this project. Together, we're helping teachers connect more fully to their communities and embracing the opportunity to look beyond the way things have always been done, but to the way that things can be done. As someone myself who comes from a family of public school teachers, I understand the importance of connecting educators to the communities that they serve. My parents were teachers and a school librarian. My sister is currently a public school teacher, and they all have the privilege of living in the areas that they served. Unfortunately, this is not always the case today. But today we embark on a journey that sets a new standard, with innovative partnerships bringing together public, private, and nonprofit sectors, making this possibility a reality. And together we can ensure that every teacher has the opportunity to not only educate, but also to become an integral part of the communities in which they serve.
This housing project will positively affect our district's ability to attract and retain highly qualified teachers, and I am grateful to our school board and to our superintendent for making this project a priority. I would also like to thank Supervisor Simitian, Mercy Housing, and Abode Communities for their diligent work in making this project a reality. Silicon Valley is known as a place of innovation, invention, and disruption. It is a place where we redefine how we live, work, and interact on a daily basis. It is also very expensive. According to most online metrics, the Bay Area is one of the most expensive places to live in the United States. As I wrote this speech, I visualized what this is like for our newest and lowest paid educators. Not long ago, I was one of them. For years, my husband and I both worked 2 jobs as we taught in order to afford to live here. This is the reality for many educators starting out in our community. Last fall, our association surveyed members to find out how living and working in the Bay Area affects their lives. We asked questions about commuting, childcare, and housing. The results of this survey overwhelmingly showed that educators in our district are greatly affected by the high cost of living in our community. Some members commute over an hour each way to get to work. Others have delayed starting a family due to the high costs of childcare and housing. By making this investment in housing for educators, our community is showing how valuable these essential workers are. It is often said that teaching is an art. If you ask a teacher, they might say it's the art of balancing time and energy. By making their lives easier, a teacher is able to focus more time and energy on their students, not on worrying about housing, working a second job, or their commute. We are blessed to have a population of parents that is highly engaged in the learning of their children. To put it simply, they want the best for their kids. One huge way to ensure that we have the best educators in our community is to anticipate and address their needs. Housing represents a huge need, especially as rent and interest rates rise, and the dream of owning a home seems to be only that, a dream. By allowing educators to pay rent that corresponds to their income, we show them meaningful support as they start their professional lives, and we demonstrate their importance in our community. I would like to thank the school districts, county officials, charitable organizations, and corporate sponsors who stood up to make this happen. Yes, this project will greatly affect the personal and professional outcomes of many educators. More so, it will positively affect the educational outcomes of our students as they continue to have access to the best teachers. In conclusion, projects like this demonstrate that the culture of disruption and innovation that so defines this region can be applied to solve pressing problems and not just to make a profit. I sincerely thank you for having me here, and I'm excited to see this project come together. Thank you.